Winning Blueprint presents.
It's the Redskins Report. So it's everything Redskins and anything of the sort. That's right, there's nothing here to hide. Skins colors are so bold, man, I wear 'em with pride. So get this Skins Report. Recap of Sunday's game and anything of the sort. Whether it's losses or wins, it's all skins. Come get it. I'm holding down the fort. You know why? 'Cause it's the Redskins Report. Man, can't nobody tell me that, man. I've been watching Redskins football since I was 3. Where were you at on January 12th, 1991? I know where I was at. I was in my room crying because the Redskins just lost to the San Francisco 49ers in the divisional round of the playoffs. That's real. I'm serious. That's real. Man, just tune into the show, man. Just tune in. The Redskins Report.
Welcome. This is the Redskins Report, Week 14 edition. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. And you see this jersey right here? It's thrown over my shoulders, around my neck. You know what that symbolizes? That means I'm draped in winning. That's what that means. Doesn't it feel good to win on Monday Night Football? Did you hear what they said on the telecast? We hadn't won a home Monday Night Football game since Gus Frerotte was our quarterback. Do you know what that means? Do you know how bad we had to have been over the last decade and a half for us to have not won a home football game? And we've been on Monday Night Football at home a number of times since Gus Frerotte has been our quarterback. It's not like we were just bad and they stopped putting us on. It's not one of those situations where they Cincinnati Bengaled us and we hadn't been on Monday Night Football in over a decade and a half. We had our fair share of home games. We just got embarrassed and lost every single time. So it feels good to get off the schneid. And what did I say? Robert Griffin III changes things. Told you. Hadn't won on Thanksgiving against the Cowboys, 0-6 all time. Robert Griffin III changes things. We get a win. 3-14 in our last 17 Monday night games, including probably about 0-10 in our last 10 Monday night games at home. Robert Griffin III changes things. Get a win. 0-5 in the Sean Taylor designated Week 13 game. Robert Griffin III changes things. Get us a win. Feels great. Who knew 6-6, 500 in Week 14 could feel so good? Normally around this time, to feel this good, to have this much exuberance, you need to be around 8-4 right now. You need to be 9-3. You need to know. You need to be secure in a playoff spot. You need to feel like, hey, we're getting in no matter what. We're not guaranteed anything at this point. The only thing that we are guaranteed is that the next game means something. And that's all we want. We want each week to be able to come back and say, hey, this next game is bigger than the last. Because you know what that means? We got it done the week before. That's all we can ask for, is each week the games get bigger and bigger in meaning. Because if it does, that means we're doing our job. And that means, because I'm telling you, sitting right here in this chair, that the next game against the Ravens is bigger than the one we just had on Monday night. That means we got it done. And really, if you want to be honest, this game against the Ravens, it means a lot, but it's an AFC game, so it only counts as a win in the standings, which we need. However, it doesn't count towards our conference record, which if we end up tied with a lot of teams will mean the most, because after they get past divisional tiebreakers and whatnot, and we're talking about just for a wild card spot. We're not even talking about for the division, because in the division, first things first, head to head. Second thing is divisional record. So if your divisional record is better than the team that's tied with you, you win by virtue of having a better divisional mark. So right now, as it stands, if we just take care of business with our last 2 games in the division against the Eagles and the Cowboys, we'll finish with a better record. We're guaranteed to finish with a better record in the division than the Giants. They've already lost 3 divisional games this season. Meanwhile, we've only lost 2. And so if we just win our remaining 2 games in the division, we'll finish better than the Giants in terms of a divisional record. So all we would have to do at that point is find a way to win 1 more game than the Giants down the stretch. But That's getting ahead of ourselves. I talk to a guy all the time that is a big Redskins fan, and he likes to take it 5 games at a time. And I always have to tell him, hey, slow down, pump your brakes, 1 game at a time. He's the type of guy that talks about going to the playoffs after we win, a game early in the season, and we look good, it looked impressive doing it, and he wants to start using the P word. I'm the kind of guy that tells you to slow down, don't get ahead of yourself. It was only 1 game. We got a long way to go, but there's a lot of fans out there that's like that. And it's fine. It's okay to feel good, but right now, you have reason to feel that way. For the first time in a long time, you have a reason to feel that way because we're actually producing on the field. And it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. I thought we were going to have to get turnovers. I thought we were going to have to blitz. I thought we were going to have to get to Eli Manning. We did none of those things. We didn't get any turnovers. We only got 1 sack on Eli Manning. We really didn't generate pressure for the majority of the game. It didn't matter, though. We did the things that you're supposed to do to win games. Now, we did have the 1 turnover, and we didn't force any of our own, so we lost the turnover battle, but good teams still find a way to win. That's the mark of a good team. And so that means we're taking steps in the right direction because good teams still find a way to win when they don't win the turnover battle. Because you're not going to play your best football every game, but a good team still finds a way to win. In past seasons, we lose this game. No doubt about it. We find a way to lose this game. Whether the defense doesn't get a stop, we don't get that last first down, we give the ball back to the Giants, they take it down and kick the game-winning field goal. Something goes wrong here. Whether, the quarterback, whether it's Rex Grossman, John Beck, Donovan McNabb, whoever you want to say it is, they throw an interception or they fumble the football in the pocket, whatever the case may be, something happens, something goes awry, we end up losing this game in the past. No longer is that the case because we have Robert Griffin III, and he changes things. You sprinkle in a little bit of Alfred Morris, now you have a problem on your hands that's hard to deal with offensively. Let's get into the game, though. Let's talk about how we were able to get to 6-6 on the season and give ourselves a realistic shot. And not only making the postseason, but winning this division. We haven't won the NFC East since 1999. You remember that season? Larry Centers. I remember where we clinched the division at. We clinched the division in San Francisco on a Sunday night game. It was a beautiful thing. We haven't been that good in a long time. A lot of you don't remember the 1999 season. I remember it vividly because that's the last time we were actually good. When the last time I actually thought we had a shot at winning the Super Bowl. These last 2 playoff runs in 2005 and 2007, they were cute, they were nice. Those are the kind of runs that I appreciate because they keep our name out of discussions like longest playoff drought. Those kind of runs, that's what they do. And that's why I appreciate those. But that's all I looked at those as. I didn't look at those as, legitimate chances to win a ring. I just looked at those as runs that kept our name out of bad conversations, such as longest playoff drought, teams that haven't won a playoff game. Those runs did that. In 2005, we were able to beat the Buccaneers. It keeps our name out of the longest drought without a playoff win conversation. The 2007 playoff run keeps our name out of longest drought of having not been in the playoffs. Keeps our name out of that conversation. That's all those playoff runs did for me. That's the only purpose they really serve because I didn't expect to win anything with Todd Collins at quarterback. Did you? I hope you didn't because you really got your hopes up for no reason. In 2005, our offense was anemic under Mark Brunell and Joe Gibbs in that whole second act of Joe Jackson Gibbs. That offense was terrible. We couldn't even throw a slant pass that year. We made it on the strength of our defense, and you knew that was only going to carry us so far once we got to the postseason. We were able to get by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that first round game, and our offense was abysmal in that game. Luckily enough for us, Sean Taylor made some plays before he got ejected out of that game. And look, we're not going to go down memory lane. Just know that it's been since 1999 since we've won the NFC East and actually looked like a real contender to win a Super Bowl. We make it to the postseason this year, and we find a way to get a home playoff game by winning the NFC East. I tell you what, we'll be a dangerous team. But that's looking way too far ahead for me. That's way, way too far ahead for me. I take it 1 game at a time. Let's talk about this game right now. So, come to find out that last week on Thanksgiving, Mike Shanahan won the toss and he elected to receive. You know how that makes me feel. I don't like to hear that. I don't like that at all. I thought Mike Shanahan got it, that you need to get the ball after the half. He had went on a string of weeks where he had just got the ball after halftime. He wanted it after halftime. He wanted to put the defense out there first. Smart move. Come to find out that he elected to get the ball first against the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. I didn't like that move. I assumed last week Jason Garrett won the toss and he deferred to the second half. That's the impression that I was under. But I was wrong. Later found out that was Mike Shanahan's doing. So we come to Monday night and he does it again, and I don't like it. You know how I feel about that. I'm not going to go into a rant about it. Save you the time, save me the trouble, but you know how I feel about that. So I was not happy that we received the ball first, but there's nothing that we can do about it. No need to cry over spilt milk. We get the ball first. Let's take it down and get some points then. Let's make something of it. So we get the ball first, come out, and I wasn't happy with the execution nor the play calling on that first drive because our strength is running the football. And I know you want to be aggressive and you want to kind of throw the Giants off balance, kind of give them a different look, let them know, hey, we're not just going to run it down your throat. You're going to get some passing as well. We open up the game with a deep bomb. Okay, I'm fine with the shot. Take a shot. Why not? Overthrows Pierre Garçon. It's double coverage. It didn't need to be on the money. Probably would have been picked off if it was. So, cool. Second down, though, I'm expecting an Alfred Morris run. Get us to 3rd and 8, get us to 3rd and 7. Maybe he rips off a 5-yard run, gets us in 3rd and manageable. Instead, we throw the ball to Logan Paulson in the flats. And it wasn't a bad play call because he was open and he probably would have either gotten the first down or he would have got 8 or 9 yards. Either way, he drops the football. We don't get anything. I'm not going to beat up Logan Paulson. I love Logan Paulson. And Logan Paulson doesn't drop the ball that often. Now, this is the second week in a row. First possession of the game, he's dropped the football, but Logan Paulson is a reliable tight end that I feel comfortable that if we throw him the football, he'll catch it 90% of the time. So he dropped the football. Now it's 3rd and 10. Next play, we go right back to Logan Paulson. And it looks like he gets the first down. They mark him short of the first down. We have to punt. Mike Shanahan challenges. We win. We get the first down. Ultimately, we end up punting. Don't do anything on this drive. We punt the football to the Giants. Giants get the football, and they put together a methodical drive. I'm talking about a 11-play mix, match, run, pass, drive. It was beautifully executed by the Giants. If not for a false start penalty that really pushed them back and really put a halt to that drive, forcing them to end up kicking a field goal, they might go get 7 on that drive. We got lucky. That penalty really hurt. The Giants really hurt themselves in this game with penalties. They're really a disciplined team, but they were not disciplined in this game. And it was good to see us actually be disciplined because you saw how those penalties affected the Giants negatively in this game. And so for us to not be doing the same thing that they were doing was a big help to us, a huge hindrance to them because you can't have penalties on the road. You can't have penalties, period. We didn't hurt ourselves with penalties. They did, and that really helped us in this game. So they ended up having to settle for a Lawrence Tynes field goal after really taking it to us on that first drive because I came into this game saying, look, we got to stop the run. We got to stop the run. And Ahmad Bradshaw was running on that first possession. It really set the tone for the rest of the game that he was going to be a thorn in our side for this whole game. Wasn't going to be one of those nights where we were going to be able to bottle him up, 17 carries for only 54 yards. Wasn't going to be that type of night. He was getting 4, he was getting 5, he was getting 7, he was getting 3, he was getting 2. He was getting positive gains just about all night. Even when we got to him in the backfield, it was a couple of times Rob Jackson had him in the backfield, let him get away, let him get back to the line of scrimmage. We couldn't even get him for a tackle for loss. So I knew it was going to be one of those long, long nights when that first drive commenced and they were getting good yardage on plays. Eli was comfortable. We weren't blitzing. I didn't like what I was seeing on that first possession. And something else that irked me on that first drive was the fact that Martellus Bennett was going to work on us early on. And I said, that's not a good sign because as you all know, and I've already chronicled this in previous episodes, we have struggled mightily with athletic tight ends. Rangy, long, athletic tight ends have gotten the best of us this year. Jermaine Gresham with the Bengals, Tony Gonzalez. And he's not the most athletic anymore, but he's a long, rangy, crafty vet. He gave us problems when we played the Falcons. We struggled. And we always struggle with Jason Witten. That's a foregone conclusion. Even though he's not athletic, he's not anything special, he's good at what he does. He pushes off better than any tight end in the league. But we struggle with him. We had a terrible day against Jimmy Graham and the Saints, but who doesn't? But again, we've struggled all season long against athletic, rangy tight ends all season long. We haven't been able to corral them whatsoever. So I knew this was going to be a long day once I saw Martellus Bennett getting off on that first possession. We weren't tackling well, and that's been an issue for us all season long. But we were able to stop him for a field goal. And I said in the preview for this game, a key to the game was going to be stopping them from getting touchdowns, basically. And I said we were going to have to stop them in the red zone. They didn't even get in the red zone, so that was a good thing. Don't let them get too close. They start sniffing the end zone, and then they get in. We didn't let them get in the end zone. We didn't let them get in the red zone. They ended up having to settle for field goals, and that really saved us in this game. So we get the football back down 3-0. Giants kick that field goal, and the Giants ate up a good portion of the first quarter with that drive, and they dominated the first half. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but we get the football back, and we just have a masterful drive. We don't waste any time. We get right to the point. 4 plays, 80 yards. We get in the end zone. It's a good mixture of pass and run. Hits Pierre Garçon on the sideline to start the drive off. Alfred Morris gets a nice little chunk, and then we get to 3rd and 1, and Robert sticks it in there, pulls it out, runs around the corner. No one's there, and beats the outside contain. You're thinking to yourself, put the ball away and get down. He fumbles, and that's not like Robert. He doesn't fumble the ball when he's running that often, so you were thinking, he's down. Ball pops out, Josh Morgan gets it, and now you're thinking, hey, go Josh, go. Josh makes a couple moves, and I like Josh Morgan with the football in his hand. You know that. So no doubt he was getting in. He's a strong, physical guy. You're not going to bring him up. Just like Alfred Morris, he's a tough runner when he gets the football. So, weaves, bobs, gets in the end zone. It's a touchdown. I look to see what the officials are doing, because if they're blowing the whistle, waving their arms frantically, doesn't count. Doesn't matter if it wasn't a fumble or if it was a fumble. Doesn't matter. The play will be dead right where Robert Griffin III was down at, because that's where they stopped the play. So I look down at the bottom of the screen in the corner. Referee's like this. I'm like, hell yeah, that's a touchdown. Let me see the replay, but it's a touchdown. They show me the replay, and it's obvious. Robert Griffin III is not down. That's a fumble. Josh Morgan picks it up, end zone. Oh yeah, touchdown. So, hey, we'll take it. We'll take that Robert Griffin III to Josh Morgan pitch. I'm cool with it. Touchdown. 7-3, baby. So we up. 7-3. I'll take it any way I can get it. You know that. So now we're on top. I like that. I like the fact that we're on top. I don't want to have to come from behind in this game. I don't want to feel like we have to abandon the run at any point, because that's our strong suit. Get on top. Make the Giants work for whatever they get in this game. Keep it close, and we'll be able to play our game. So that touchdown was large. So now we're up 7-3. Give the Giants back the football, and here we go again. Defense can't get off the field on 3rd down. Giants are able to do whatever they want to do, whether it's pass, run, you name it, they're doing it, and they're doing it efficiently. And they're not rushing to do anything. The plan coming into the game for the Giants was obvious, and it was simple, and it was working to perfection in the first half. Keep the Redskins offense off the field. You don't have to deal with Robert Griffin III if he's on the sideline looking at film, looking at cut-ups of what happened on the field and drinking Gatorade. If he's on the sideline sitting down conversing with Kyle Shanahan, you're doing your job. That's what the Giants set out to do. Keep them off the field by running long drives. 13 plays, 11 plays, 12 plays. You name it, that's what they were doing in the first half. And they did a hell of a job of doing it. They weren't trying to eat up chunks, and they weren't trying to gash us. They were looking to get 5 yards here, 7 yards here, 6 yards here, 11 yards here, 9 yards. They were looking to methodically drive the football down the field, eat up clock, eat up time, and eat up any possessions for Robert Griffin III in this Redskins offense. And man, was it working to a T in that first half. They get the ball the second time, and they drive right down the field, and it's like I said, they are matriculating the football down the field. And there's nothing we can do about it. We can't get off the field to save our life. If not for an intentional grounding penalty by Eli Manning, we finally get a semblance of pressure for the first time all game. Good coverage down the field. He has nowhere to go with the football. He chucks it out of bounds in the pocket. But he doesn't get out of the pocket. He's Got it past the line of scrimmage. He just doesn't get out of the pocket. No receivers over there in the vicinity where he threw the football. Intentional grounding. That's great. Lost it down, 2nd and 20. We're able to stop them from getting the first down. And what that intentional grounding did was it made it a long field goal attempt. 43 yards for Lawrence Tynes, which is usually money for him. He missed. Bad snap. Hole wasn't probably the way he wanted it to. I don't care how that operation failed. All I care about is the result. They missed the field goal. That's all I care about. We got to stop. I don't care how we get it. You know that. I don't care how we get it. We got to stop. So they don't get any points after putting together a 13-play, probably about 72-yard drive, but it results in nothing. So we get the football back. And at this point now, I'm like, hey, make them pay for not taking advantage of an opportunity to get points. Make them pay. Go get points. So now we're into the second quarter because the Giants ate up basically the whole first quarter with their 2 drives and even tapped into some of the second quarter with that second drive. Again, their first drive was 11 plays. Their second drive was 13 plays. They were eating up clock and they were taking up possessions from the Redskins offense. And that was their plan. That was their strategy, and it was working in the first half. So we get the ball for only the 3rd time in the game for us. And I thought we had a chance to change the game. I thought the play of the game or lack thereof came with 12:56 remaining in the second quarter. Now, you have no idea what I'm talking about. You have no idea what I'm referring to right now. Maybe you do. Maybe your eyes are as laser sharp as mine are, and you caught it just like I caught it the first time you saw it. Maybe you didn't. Whatever the case may be, I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm talking about. With 12:56 left in the second quarter, I thought we had a chance to really distance ourselves in this game and really put it to the Giants. I mean, if we get a touchdown and go up 14-3, I really think we could have gotten away from the Giants and really put them in some serious trouble. We had the opportunity to do it with one play. We get a 10-yard holding penalty on Logan Paulson. Puts us in 2nd and 20. The next play, Robert Griffin III sets up a beautiful screen. It's a great play call by Kyle Shanahan. He set up a screen for Darrell Young. And Darrell Young gets the football, and he's got about 5 blockers in front of him. And I tell you what, it's like the Red Sea parted. He had the most enormous, gaping hole to the outside. 2 blockers ready to go get guys down the field, and nothing but space and opportunity to the outside. What does Darrell Young do? Cut it inside where all the traffic is, where all the Giants are, and picks up 15 yards. Nice little pickup. That play had the potential to be a 77-yard touchdown. We were at the 23-yard line when he caught that pass. That had the potential to be a 77-yard touchdown reception. I lie to you not. I kid you not. If you have this game on record, do me a favor. Go to 12:56 remaining in the second quarter. Right after the Logan Paulson holding penalty. 12:56 left on the game clock. In the second quarter. Look at that screenplay. All right. Now, you may not be able to see it when it is first ran. You probably will be able to see it. But I tell you what, ESPN shows a replay right there after. Look at the left corner of your screen and tell me what you see. If you have the game on record, check it out. Look at that replay that ESPN shows. Look at the left corner and see what you see. Because if you see what I saw when I was first watching the game, you'll see nothing but green pastures. Not a giant defender in sight. And oh, by the way, 2 Redskins blockers ready to go block someone in case they wanted to come over and start some trouble. It was a touchdown. If not a touchdown, if Darrell runs out of gas or takes a bad angle or one of the guys don't block anyone and they're able to bring him down, it's a 50-yard game. Minimum 50-yard game. Check it out. I was going nuts at the house. What are you doing, Darrell? What are you doing? And you know, he got up like, I just made a hell of a play. And he did. He got 15 yards on the play, but this could have been 77 yards. I'm pretty sure when they watch film, they're going to tell Darrell, man, you blew this one. You know, Darrell's probably going to be like, yeah, I did. I mean, all he had to do was go outside. Oh, my God. That was the play for me in the first half. After that play happened, it took me about maybe a possession to get my head back to where I needed to be because I was dwelling on that and I needed to let it go. Because we didn't get anything on this possession. We ended up punting the football. And so that hurt me because I was staring at points. On one play, I was staring at points. And to not get anything, that hurt. It took me a while to get over that. Probably took me until halftime to really fully get over the fact that he didn't take advantage of a play. And I always complain and cry about screens. We don't run them enough. We're not effective enough in the screen game. There was a chance to be as effective as you can be on a screen, and we didn't take advantage of it. So, okay, we didn't get anything. We have to punt the football. Giants get the ball, and here we go again. Giants get the football. They start well in their own territory. They're deep in their own territory because we had put together somewhat of a semblance of a drive. We didn't do anything, but we punted the football, and the Giants had been getting penalties all night on special teams, so they were backed up in their own territory to start that drive. And they just went down the field. Another 13-play drive just really sucked the life out of us. And I told you in the preview for this game, we're not going to keep them out of the end zone every time they start driving the football. It's not possible. It's not feasible. And so this time they just went all the way down the field, slowly but surely. They moved the sticks all the way down the field. Another 13-play drive, zapping the clock, keeping Robert Griffin III, Alfred Morris, and the rest of that group off the field. This time, they get in the end zone. There's no stopping them. We get them in 2nd and 20 at one point after back-to-back penalties on a delay of game and a false start. It's 2nd and 20, and we allow Martellus Bennett to get wide open on a clear-out route for like 25 yards. That's when I knew they're getting in the end zone now. Because if we were going to stop them, that was the time to do it. 2nd and 20, you can't ask for much better than that. And we let them pick it up in one play. Just a chunk play, and boom. They're right there in field goal range now. And they took it right down. And then they got right to about the 4-yard line, threw it to Martellus Bennett, touchdown. They were up 10-7 in this game. And I didn't like what I was seeing. I was pulling out my hair because I said we needed to blitz. We don't win one-on-one matchups. It's not what we do. It's obvious. You know that. I know that. And so in order for us to get pressure, we have to manufacture it. We can't just line guys up. We don't have a DeMarcus Ware, a Alden Smith, a Jared Allen on our team. We don't have a guy that we can just line up and say, hey, beat the guy in front of you, get to the quarterback. We don't have those guys on our team. We need to manufacture pressure, whether it's a stunt, whether it's a blitz. We got to do something. We can't just line up and say, hey, beat your man. We don't do that. And when we do, we get held. So that's not what we do. And Eli was picking us apart. I mean, he was almost flawless in the first half. I mean, some of the throws he was making, we couldn't have defended them any better. He just was making good throws. But nonetheless, they're up 10-7 at this point. And now we're getting the ball back for the 4th time. Only the 4th time in the first half. I mean, we didn't have the ball that much. I mean, the Giants dominated the first half. They had the ball for over 21 minutes in the first half. We only had it for 9. So that gives you an idea of how bad the Giants dominated that first half and how much they had the football, how they controlled this game in the first half. We only had the ball for 9 minutes out of a 30-minute half. But we were very efficient with the football when we had it. We just made mistakes that stopped us from, scoring more points. Same thing can be said for the Giants. They were very good in what they did. They kept the ball for 11 plays, 13 and 13 respectively on all 3 of their drives in the first half. And they ate up clock. They just made mistakes. Penalties and a missed field goal stopped them from putting points on the board. So it's 10-7. We get the football back. And we hit 2 plays. I mean, this is the efficiency I'm talking about in the first half. We hit 2 plays to Pierre Garçon, and just like that, we're in field goal range. We're at the 20-yard line. Just like that. You hit a play-action fake, crosser over the middle to Pierre Garçon for about 18, 20 yards, 25 yards. Next play, same thing, play-action fake, Pierre streaking over the middle. We hit him. He catches it in stride, breaks a tackle, stiff arms a guy, splits the defense, gets upfield to about the 20-yard line. Just like that, we're in field goal range. You know how I felt about our late half effectiveness or lack thereof in the first half. Going into halftime, I've always said that I didn't think we ever been aggressive enough. We've always looked to just do enough, whether it's just kick a field goal and we're in range for a touchdown, or just play it safe and conservative, close to the vest and punt the football. when we got timeouts and we've got the ability to try to make something happen. That's the way I felt all season. I thought, for the most part, we did the same thing here. We ran it on first down with Alfred Morris. We had all 3 of our timeouts. Ran it with Alfred Morris. Then we threw a bubble screen to Pierre Garçon, and really I don't think that was Robert Griffin III's first read on that play. Looking at it from the all-22 angle, the coach's film, you can see that there was no one else open. And the pressure started to come. He just dumped it off to Pierre. Pierre lost 2 yards on that play, so now it's 3rd and 12. And he actually had someone open on that 3rd and 12 play. It was Pierre Garçon. He could have either hit him. Logan Paulson was open. There was a couple of stops open. They weren't going to get the first down. Pierre Garçon was the interesting route on that play because he beat the slot guy. He beat the inside corner on a slant move, and he got inside. There was a safety right there, but I'm not sure that Pierre doesn't make him miss if Robert gets it to him in a location that allows him to catch it and make a move. Not sure that he doesn't make him miss and get in the end zone, or at minimum gets a first down, because we still could have gotten a first down at that point at about the 4-yard line. So, yeah, he didn't see him, though. Robert was looking on the other side of the field. By the time he came back to Pierre, it was too late. Scrambled out of the pocket, tried to throw it to Pierre in the back of the end zone. Didn't work. Field goal, 10-10. Giants get the ball, though, because by Pierre running out of bounds, he stopped the clock. Giants still had all their timeouts. And so they got the football back with 3 timeouts. They went down and they got another field goal right before the half. And see, this is what I'm talking about. I was afraid at this point because they get a late half field goal, take the lead 13-10 going into halftime, and they get the ball after halftime. What if they get a touchdown after halftime? Now it's a 10-point lead. It's a 2-possession game without us having a chance to touch the ball again. That's why I don't like getting the ball first in the beginning of the game. I like getting it after halftime. You don't know what the circumstances are in the game after the half. You know what the circumstances are when the game begins. It's 0-0. You go out there, you put your defense on the field first, you get a stop, guess what? You get the ball after halftime. Say you score a touchdown, you get the ball first, you score a touchdown, the Giants score a touchdown, after you score your touchdown, it's back to 0-0. Everything that you've gained on that first possession in terms of momentum, it's gone. So, I'm going to stop right there because you know how I can get about that. I'm going to stop right there. I want to talk about something real quick before we get to the second half action. All right. I want to clear something up really fast. And I know I'm not talking to most of you out there, but if I am talking to you, listen up clearly, please. Don't be like that idiot fan that was sitting in the front row when Martellus Bennett scored the touchdown on us and jumped in our seats. Yeah, it was a lot of Giants fans. It was probably like 6 Giants fans and 1 Redskin fan. Well, that one idiot Redskin fan is standing there with a little camera in his hand, and Martellus Bennett turns around and jumps in the stands, and he pats him on the back. What the hell is wrong with that idiot? If you're a Redskins fan, you're at the game, and a guy comes and jumps in, push his ass out of the damn stands. You're no Redskin player. You don't come into our house and disrespect us and jump into our stands. Push him out the damn way. You don't pat him on the damn back. What a clown. That fan is an idiot. Don't be like him, because that's not what we are. We're not idiots. We don't embrace the other team for scoring a touchdown at our house. You push his monkey ass out of the stands and tell him, you get the hell out of here with that. Don't try that crap here. This is FedEx Field. You don't come here jumping in our stands. You crazy? Try some garbage like that at Lambeau. You might get a drink or a beer in your face. Yeah, we got an idiot fan. Hey, he scored a touchdown, tapping him on the back. What a clown. You go to a Redskin game, you're sitting there, and those are great seats, by the way. You're sitting there, and an opposing player does something like that. Either you don't touch him, or you push him out of the way. You push him down, but you do not embrace him. Don't even smile. It's not funny. What an idiot that guy was. He didn't even deserve to be called a Redskin fan. I revoke your Redskins license. You're no longer a fan for that garbage. I digress. Let's get to the second half. Giants get the ball first, and this is what I was afraid of. I didn't want the Giants to go down the field, get more points. I didn't even care if it was a field goal. I didn't want the Giants to get more points after halftime and start building something. That's why I wanted the ball after halftime. But they get the ball, and they put together a mini drive to get a first down, but they have to punt right after. So the defense, all of a sudden now, there's a drastic change from the first half because we didn't stop the Giants at all. in the first half. They converted on 8 of 10 third downs in the first half. I mean, we couldn't stop them. If not for those penalties, they score touchdowns probably, or at least convert field goals on every drive instead of having one missed and only having 13 points to show for 4 drives. So we got lucky. But in the second half, things changed. We're able to get off the field. Tell you what, and this is going to hurt, but Cedric Griffin did a real bang-up job in this game. I was really pleased with his performance in this game, whether it was coverage, tackling. I love what Cedric Griffin brought to this game. I love the physicality with which he plays. You know, on that third down that forced the Giants to punt, Victor Cruz catches a underneath pass on 3rd and 5 for about 3 yards. Cedric Griffin comes, wraps him up, slings him down on the ground, and looks at him as if, man, you're too small to box, man. Go get out of here, sit down, and punt the football. That's what I love about Cedric Griffin. He's in your face. He's jamming guys. We don't have many corners that are bold enough to jam at the line of scrimmage. Now, look, Cedric Griffin will get beat off the line of scrimmage because he's not a fast guy. But he's not afraid to go and mix it up, especially if he knows he has help over the top. He's not afraid to go mix it up with a receiver at the line of scrimmage. He's the only Redskin defender that I see on a consistent basis that goes up to the line of scrimmage and challenges receivers, jams them and chucks them at the line of scrimmage and says, hey, you got to get off this line of scrimmage. You got to beat me off of this press coverage because I'm getting in your face. I'm putting hands on you. And if you're going to beat me, you're going to beat me because you out-physicaled me, not because I gave you a free release and you were able to run free and find an opening and get open and catch the football. So, love Cedric Griffin. I love the physicality with which he plays. And I actually love his coverage. I mean, there's not many times where he's just flat out beat on a play. Eli Manning made some really good throws, and Cedric Griffin was always in good coverage. He always looks for the ball. That's why I love him, because Josh Wilson never looks for the football. Cedric Griffin, on the other hand, conversely, does. And so that's why he's able to swap plays away like one earlier in the game when Hakeem Nicks had him probably by about 2 steps. Luckily enough for us, Eli just underthrew it slightly, allowed Cedric to turn around, find the football, knock it away. If Eli leads him by a yard, that's probably a touchdown or a 47-yard gain. But instead, Cedric was able to get his head around and knock the ball away. And I love Cedric Griffin. He's gone for 4 games. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But he was great in this game. They have to punt. We get the football. And here we go again. They can't stop us offensively. If you were going to take anything from the first half, other than the fact that defensively we had to make some changes or it was going to be a long day. If you were going to take one more thing or anything else from the first half other than that, it needed to be the Giants weren't stopping us on offense. We were really doing, and this was the second game in a row that we played them and really dominated them offensively. They had no answer for what we were doing. When we ran, they were struggling. When we threw it, they were struggling. They did not know what was coming. They couldn't stop it. And so we get the football back, and it doesn't take long. I mean, we run a few plays. The next thing you know, it's 3rd and 1. Robert puts it in Alfred's stomach, pulls it out, and he's off to the races. And if not for Stevie Brown grabbing the back of Robert's jersey and yoking him down, we're talking about another one of those Minnesota Viking touchdown runs. 40, 50 yards in length. The Vikings one, of course, was 74 yards. This one was probably going to be about, 61 yards or so. But luckily enough for the Giants, Stevie Brown was able to get a piece of that jersey, and he held on for dear life because Robert was dragging him. You know how you see those players in the summertime dragging those dummies along, running, they got a dummy behind them dragging that little pulling machine? That's what it looked like. He was dragging him and then he's finally yoked him down. But not until Robert was able to run off about a 47-yard gain down to the Giants' 24-yard line. I mean, it was a great run. So now we're in business. We're in field goal range now. And so at minimum, we're coming away with a tie. If we don't do anything stupid, we're coming away with points. I want a touchdown, though. And I don't see the Giants stopping us from getting that. Hand it off to Alfred Morris. He gets a nice little piece of change on the ground. Has to hop over a Redskin blocker who's on the ground. And anytime you jump, that's when you get yourself in trouble because you can't really forcefully hold on to the football like you really want to because you're in the air, you're exposed, you got the ball away from your body because you're leaping in the air. It's human nature. That's what you do when you jump. And he jumped. Chase Blackburn makes a beautiful play, comes in, simultaneously tackles and strips Alfred Morris of the football. it dies right there. And I was praying that Alfred Morris had come in contact with the football while he was laying out of bounds, but for some reason, he had the presence of mind to not be out of bounds. He lifted his whole half of his body that was going to be out of bounds up in trying to reach for the football, and so he wasn't out of bounds. He didn't get it back. Giants got the football. That was a disaster because we were going for points, but I wasn't mad at Alfred. I wasn't. I really wasn't. That's not who he is. He's not a fumbler, and you know it's going to happen sometimes, but he runs so hard you can't be mad at a guy that runs as hard as Alfred Morris does. I said, it's okay, Alfred. It's okay. You'll get opportunities to redeem yourself. Don't hang your head. I felt bad for him because they showed that pan shot of him on the sideline, and he's looking like he wants to throw up. He's looking like he just lost his best friend. And so I told Alfred, don't worry, we'll get it back. You're fine. You know, I know he was thinking in his head, man, I just cost us this game because if the Giants go down and get 7 after that, we're probably done. You know, but luckily enough for him, the defense was able to rise to the occasion. They drove down the field and they got a field goal. They got a 3. They extended the lead to 16-10, but a field goal still kept it at a 1-possession game, and that's all you can ask for. Give me a chance to either tie or take the lead with 1 score. That's all you want. Keep it at 1 possession and you got a shot. And that's what we were able to do. Defensively, we really stepped it up. Jim Haslett, I saw what the game plan was. I saw it in the first half. I didn't agree with it necessarily, but that's why I'm not a defensive coordinator and he is. Because his game plan was simple. Keep the Giants in front of us. Don't allow any big plays. Make them methodically drive the football down the field, which played into the Giants' hand early on because that's exactly what they wanted to do. But, you know, Eli took some shots. Victor Cruz, let's not forget, Victor Cruz got behind our defense. He was wide open. Split the defense just like he did in New York. This time, Eli didn't hit him. He ran right past D'Angelo Hall and Madu Williams. He had a touchdown. Just Eli overthrew him by about 3 yards. Hakeem Nicks had a step on us. He got behind the defense. You know, he beat Cedric Griffin. Luckily enough for us, Eli underthrew that one. Cedric made a great play because he still had to knock it away. He doesn't look for the football. That's still a catch. But he looked. He knocked it away. We got away. We dodged 2 bullets early in that first half. So Jim Haslett's plan was 2 deep zone. We're playing 2 deep coverage. You know, man underneath, zone underneath, but it's going to be 2 deep, whatever it is. We want to have 2 safeties high all game long. We're not blitzing. We're not bringing pressure. We're not going to give them an opportunity to make a guy miss and have no one else back there because we blitzed 6 guys and now they're off to the races. We're not good enough. We're just going to play coverage. Make them go 11, 12, 13 plays. Because, you know, in the NFL, the longer a drive goes, the more likely it is you're going to make a mistake. Whether it's holding, false start, some kind of procedure penalty. Something's going to happen that's going to derail your drive. That's the hope if you're playing defense. The longer we make them possess the football, we tip a pass, it gets batted in the air, maybe we pick it off. We bat a pass down, that's a wasted down. They get a holding penalty, now it's 3rd and 17 instead of 3rd and 7. They get a false start instead of 3rd and 4, it's 3rd and 9. Those things happen in the course of a drive the longer it goes. And that's what happened to the Giants all night. And so Jim Haslett's plan worked to perfection early on. The only problem was that was playing right into the hands of the Giants. That's what they wanted. And they were taking what we were giving them. They were moving the ball down the field. But the good thing was we were bending, but we never broke. We never broke. We were bending. They were picking up first downs on 3rd down. They were moving the ball down the field. I mean, the Giants never really had great field position in this game. We did a great job of pinning them deep on kickoffs. They kept getting penalties. We kept moving them backwards. We kept starting drives at their own 11, at their own 9, at their own 13, at their own 17. They never got the ball and started 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line and had a drive that started close to midfield. For the most part, they were trapped all game long. And so Jim Haslett's plan worked, but in the 3rd quarter, in the 2nd half, he started dialing up blitzes here and there. He sparingly mixed in a blitz, and that's what we needed. I wasn't asking him to just sell out like we did against the Eagles, where we're coming on blitzes, it seemed like every play. Eli's a veteran. You can't do that against veteran quarterbacks. They'll slice you and dice you. And Jim Haslett knows that. You know, you can turn the dogs loose on a rookie like Nicholas Foles. You can't do that to Eli Manning. He knows that. But what I was asking him to do when he did it in the 3rd quarter and in the 2nd half is mix in a blitz here and there, you know, on a critical 3rd down. Send a slot guy. Send D'Angelo Hall on a blitz. Run the double A-gap blitz on 3rd and 7. Don't just allow Eli Manning to sit back there and go through his reads and progressions and then find a guy he wants to throw the football to and get a first down. Bring some pressure. And that's what we did in the second, and that's what got us off the field. It worked to perfection, but the Giants did get a field goal. They went up 16-10. And so, Alfred Morris, you're okay. And I tell you what that fumble did. I don't know if you noticed it. I'm pretty sure you did because it was obvious. It was blatantly obvious. That fumble pissed Alfred Morris off. He got mad. And when I say he got mad, he already runs hard. I didn't think he could run any harder than he already does. He took it to another level. I didn't know he had another level. I thought the level was already here. He said, no, I have a level that's up here. He turned it up to level 5. And I thought he was already at level 5, but apparently he was only at 4. But he took it to level 5 after that fumble. He got pissed off. And he started running like a man possessed. He started running like an animal, like a beast. And they couldn't stop him. I mean, the first carry that he got after the fumble, it took about 4 guys to bring him down. And he broke about 5 tackles on that play. I mean, guys were all over him. He was pulling his arm away from guys. He was dipping his shoulder down. He was running over people. He was a man possessed. I loved it. And I knew he was pissed at this point. And so the Giants had something else they had to deal with now. It wasn't just Alfred Morris being physical and aggressive. Now he had took it to another level. Robert Griffin III was dialed in. The offense was performing at a high level. The offensive line, give kudos to them. Don't forget the offensive line in all this. Robert Griffin III and Alfred Morris don't do this by themselves. The offensive line was phenomenal in this game. The Giants never really came close to touching Robert Griffin III in this game. Yeah, they hit him a couple of times after he threw the football, but he was really never in danger of being sacked in this game. A lot of that has to do with the play calling and them being off balance. They can never pin their ears back and say, hey, they're throwing for sure on this play. They always had to hesitate. Are they running? Is this an option? Is he pulling this out? Is he actually handing this off? They didn't know. So they can never really get comfortable in saying, yeah, we're going after the quarterback right here. Because if they did, then it'd be a handoff, and then they'd be out of position, and then we'd get 11 yards in the first down. So they had to be cognizant of what was going on. But the offensive line did their job admirably. They were great in this game. Kudos must be given to the offensive line. Don't forget them. They're the unsung heroes in this football game. So we get the football back, and we put together our best drive by far of the night. As we get the football back, Alfred Morris is pissed. Robert Griffin III is dialed in. It's a great mixture of pass and run. They don't know what's coming. The Giants are on their heels. They don't know what's coming. And we put together the drive of the night, and it proved to be the game-winning drive. It spanned, a majority of the fourth quarter. Really put the Giants in a bind because after we drove down the field, and again, it was a great mixture of pass and run. They didn't know what was coming. Get in the red zone. And I thought we were going to run the QB waggle to Santana, but instead we run Robert on a beautiful bootleg out, and he rolls out. Pierre comes outside, hits him with the pass. It's like stealing. It's like taking candy from a baby. I mean, the Giants had no answer for anything we were doing, and it was so fun to watch. And so we go up 17-16. And at that time, now I'm saying, okay, if we can just get one stop. And yes, I'm saying this. After we scored a touchdown. Because it was about 6:48 left in the game, something like that. If we can just get one stop and get into our 4-minute offense, they don't need to see the ball again. You know what happened in New York last time we gave this Giants offense back the ball with a chance to win the game. Let's not repeat that. Let's learn from our mistakes. Let's not give them the ball back. Defense, it's up to you first and foremost. Don't allow Eli Manning to do what they've done for the majority of this game, which is put together long drives, eat up this clock, get in field goal range, and we don't even get to touch the ball again. Don't allow that to happen. Don't make us use our timeouts and have to stop the clock, give the Giants every opportunity to move down, get field goal range, eat up the clock, kick the field goal, we lose. Let's not have this be the ending to this game, which has been played so beautifully by the Redskins. Get a stop, get off the field, get us the football back, and we'll take care of the rest. You do your job, I swear the offense will do theirs. But first things first, you got to get a stop. And we were able to do that. And we got him in a long yardage situation. third and about 16. They ran a screen on 3rd and 20, got 4 yards. I was glad to see us not over pursue and see Jim Haslett not throw the kitchen sink at them on 3rd and 20 and have them dump off a screen and get 21. That would have been an absolute backbreaker. But instead, we played it safe. Guys recognized what was going on, very aware that the Giants were trying to run screen game, made the tackle, 4-yard gain, minimal gain, love it. Now it's 4th and 16. Brian Keel runs into the punter, and I'm like, oh no. And I know it wasn't roughing because his plant leg, he didn't run into that. He didn't hit his leg while it was in the air. So usually if you run into that plant leg, you're getting 15. You're getting roughing. But he didn't do that. He just barely touched him, and then he held him up. So I'm like, you really don't even need to throw the flag here, but okay, fine. You want to throw it. It's running into the kicker, not roughing. They had that long discussion, and I knew what it was for. Mike Tirico and John Gruden were making it seem as if this long discussion was whether it was 15-5. I knew it wasn't a 15-yard penalty. He was talking to the Giants bench. What do you want to do? It's a 5-yard penalty. Do you want to re-kick this? Or do you want to move them back 5 yards from where they caught it? Or do you want to decline it? And I think the only two options they had was re-kick it, taking the 5 yards and making it 4th and 11 instead of 4th and 16, or declining the penalty and we just get the ball where we got it at. And Brandon Banks did nothing on the return, and we had bad field position. It wasn't like he got a decent return. So it didn't make sense for them to re-kick it from 5 yards up and give Brandon Banks a chance to maybe get 13 yards on the return and give us better field position. No need. So they ended up taking, and I was actually a little nervous that Coughlin might say, you know what? 4th and 11 is manageable now. We picked up 3rd and 12 and 2nd and 20 in this game several times. We can pick up 11 yards. Why not go for it? I was nervous that he might be thinking that because his defense had not come close to stopping our offense all game long. So I thought maybe it might have crossed his mind and say, you know what? Hey, offense, Eli, get back out there. Let's run a play. I was nervous. But instead he was like, nah, decline the penalty. We need to get a stop, or we'll get the football back. They never saw that football again. Never saw that football again. And that was the key in the game. Don't give it back to him. Don't give it back to him. Don't put yourself in a position to where you have to hold on for dear life. And the reason they didn't get that football back was because, A, they had no idea what was coming all game long, and Kyle Shanahan did a beautiful job of mixing it up. B, he wasn't afraid to throw the football, but it was a safe throw. It was a throw that, in the context of the game, had been working all game long and continued to work. Pierre Garçon over the middle of the field, open all night long. And so off that play action fake, they thought we were running. Everybody came up, voided the middle of the field, Pierre Garçon wide open. And that was really the dagger. Because now the Giants got to start using their timeouts. They don't have any timeouts left. And they had already used one earlier in the second half. So they only had 2. So now they have to use the remaining 2 timeouts. Now they're in trouble. Because now we can start eating up clock. But we need one more first down to ensure that they don't get the ball back. And I didn't care if it was going to be 30 seconds, 24 seconds. I didn't want them touching the ball at all. Nada. I don't care if it was 11 seconds. I'm a Redskins fan, as are you probably. We've been trained to think the worst at all times. So the Giants getting the ball back with 24 seconds, that's enough time for Victor Cruz to split our defense and get a touchdown. We've seen it happen before. So I don't want them touching the ball at all. So that means we need to get another first down. And Alfred Morris said, you know what? I got you. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of this. And that's what he did. 3 straight runs, tough, solid runs, gets 2 on first down, gets 4 on second down, gets 8 on third down. Game over. Game, set, match. Skin 17, Giant 16. We are 6-6 on the season. We are 3-1 in the division. And now, just like that, we are 1 game behind the Giants in the NFC East for a chance to win this division. Just imagine if the Packers would have took care of business on Sunday Night Football a week ago. We'd be in first place right now. But look, that's no here nor there. We got the job done, and that's what we set out to do. I had no doubts that we were going to get it done. I felt really confident. I haven't felt this confident about the Redskins in a long time. Haven't felt this confident about the Redskins all season long. And we were scoring points earlier in the season. But Defensively, we're starting to get it. And we're getting lucky too. The Giants had opportunities to score points. They didn't. We're getting lucky, but I don't care how it happens. If you're not aware of that by now, then you're not paying attention. I don't care how we get stops, how we keep points from getting put on the scoreboard. I don't care. As long as it doesn't show up, I'm good. And that's what we were able to do, limit the Giants' effectiveness when they got close to the red zone, make them kick field goals. We got off the field in the second half. They only scored 3 points in the second half. They only had one drive of note in the second half. I mean, that was a night and day turnaround by the defense in the second half. So we got it done. I was so proud of the fellas. I really was. I really was so proud of the effort. I mean, we really played a good football game through and through. I mean, I was disappointed in the defensive intensity in the first half, but they picked it up in the second half. The offense had it going all night. They just didn't get a lot of opportunities, but when they got them, they made the best of them. They fumbled. Alfred Morris had to fumble. We had a couple of bogus penalties in the second half. That one offensive pass interference on Logan Paulson, bogus. That killed that drive. That was going for points. Ended up having to punt because that was a 10-yard penalty, and that was close to a first down. That would have set up a 3rd and short situation. Instead, it ended up being 2nd and 20. We couldn't overcome it. We had some questionable calls that they made, but look, not going to complain about the officiating. It was a tightly called ball game. They weren't allowing a lot of things to occur. I was pleased with the officiating for the most part, especially being that we were down a back judge. He got hurt, as you heard on the soundtracks. And I did like the soundtracks with London Fletcher. I really enjoyed that, by the way. And we got it done, man. It feels good to feel like you're going to get it done and then go out and actually do it. 3 straight wins against 3 different NFC East opponents. When's the last time we did that? Doesn't happen often. And we keep saying that because we keep talking about Robert Griffin III. Doesn't happen often. How many times have we said that? But yet it happens because Robert Griffin III is our quarterback now. He makes all the world difference. I tell you what, man, for all of you out there that say, hey, he's not the only one. No, he's not. But you take him out of the equation and you stick in any quarterback, Rex Grossman, John Beck, Donovan McNabb, you name it, Jason Campbell, you stick him in there, we're not winning these games. And you know it. It's not even a question. And so this is fun. This is what we signed up for. When you're a Redskins fan, this is what you signed up for. Meaningful football in December. And that's what we're going to get. And we're playing on a week-to-week basis. Every game is its own entity. Nothing is lumped together. For those of you who keep talking about running the table, this and that, every game is its own entity. Don't worry about what we did last week, what we did 2 weeks ago against the Cowboys. The Ravens are up on the docket next. That's all we need to be focusing on now. That game is over with. That's why it took me so long to come out with this video. I want you guys to let it soak in. Take in what we were able to do. Now it's time to move on. When I come to you to talk to you, we recap and then we move on. We're here to put a bow on that victory. It was a great win. I had a chance to celebrate as you did. Now we got to put a bow on it. We got to move on. We got the Ravens coming up on Sunday. And as you all know, the last 2 times we played the Ravens, they've embarrassed us. 8 years ago, he stripped Mark Brunell, did Ed Reed, he ran past Lydell Betts, ran in the end zone with a touchdown. They embarrassed us at FedEx Field. They beat us on Sunday Night Football. That was 8 years ago. 4 years ago, we go to Baltimore, and then we get thrashed. Wasn't a close game. Didn't expect it to be a close game because we weren't a good team at the time. They beat us up. No questions asked. Time for a little bit of revenge. I'm out for revenge. Revenge is a dish best served cold. And we got 2 of the coldest brothers on the block in Robert Griffin III and Alfred Morris. They're cold-blooded. And so I expect to go on and continue to win ball games. But first things first, Ravens are next. Doesn't matter anymore who the opponent is. We're a machine now. And through these eyes of this machine should read destroy. Doesn't matter what the target is. Doesn't matter who the target is. Destroy. Because at this point now, it doesn't matter who you are. AFC, NFC, divisional opponent, non-divisional opponent. Doesn't matter anymore. Everybody's a target. The goal, win the football game. Get to the playoffs. That's the goal. And you can only do that by winning one game at a time. We can't worry about anybody else now. All we can do is control what we can control. And what we can control is us winning football games. Let the chips fall where they may. You start worrying about what other teams are doing. You don't focus on your goal. That's when you slip up. That's when you trip and slip on the banana peel. So, I'm a Redskins fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Redskins spirit will never die. My Redskins spirit will never fold. You know what it is. We got a job and a mission to carry out. And guess what? The Ravens are in the way. They're in the way. So we'll come back later on in the week and talk about it. We'll let this video soak in. And we'll be back to talk about the Ravens and what it's going to take and what we have to do to get a win, extend this winning streak to 4 games, get to over 500 for the first time this deep in the season for a dog's age, and figure out what steps we need to take next to try to get this divisional crown. Because I'm greedy now. I've gotten past the point of wanting a wild card spot. The Seahawks can have it. If they want it, that win last week against the Bears, that was huge. That shows me that they want to go to the postseason. You want that last wild card spot? By all means, have at it. I'm greedy. I want the division now. Forget the wild card. I want a home playoff game now. I'm greedy as hell. In case you didn't know, I'm telling you, I'm greedy as hell. I want it all. I want a playoff spot. And I don't just want any playoff spot now. I want a division. I want a home playoff game. I want the 4th seed. Give it to me. That's what we're setting out to get. So we'll come back later on in the week. We'll talk Ravens. We'll talk Redskins. We'll find a way to get it done. And I will see you then. And as always, hail to the Redskins. I'm Lou. And this has been the Week 14 edition of the Redskins Report. Till next time, I'm signing off. Have a good one.
The Redskins Report.